you mentioned how like some changes that took place with digital marketing, and I guess that was with the SEC. Can you like what impact does that have then on your digital marketing efforts?
Okay, so prior to 2012, and the SEC just promulgated the laws. It was Congress that actually passed the Act, Jobs Act, 2012. Prior to that, well, it's actually quite technical, Todd, but basically what it did was it threw the doors open to marketing. The 1933 Securities Act, it's a little history briefly, basically shut down the opportunity of small companies it prohibited them from going to the general public to raise money other than through an IPO. You had to go through an IPO, but there was an exception, and that exception, very simply spoken or speaking, was that you can still raise money without doing an IPO as long as it's from somebody you know, right? So you have to have a pre-existing relationship with them, basically. And I'm oversimplifying, but the 2012 Jobs Act reversed that and said it's okay to put up a website that says, come and invest with me, right? Find out more about me because I've got deals you want to invest in. And so that just threw the door open to real estate sponsors, developers, to do exactly that. I mean, they can have websites that don't just say, here's my name and number and a nice pretty picture, right, of me and one of my buildings. It actually says, here, learn about me because you can actually invest in my deals. So that was really the switch that was thrown in 2012.
Okay.
And you know what, by the way, it was never intended for real estate. I wrote a book, of course, I'll put it back on my shelf now, called Leaders of the Crowd, where I actually interviewed people in the White House and in Congress and lobbyists and early adopters, etc. And it was the Jobs Act, stands for Jumpstart Our Business Startups. Congress never imagined for a moment, anybody, it didn't occur to anybody that real estate would benefit. But because real estate syndications are always structured with an LLC, some kind of corporate structure, you're selling shares. And if you're selling shares, that's basically securities. And so it fell under the purview of the Jobs Act. And real estate has become the single biggest beneficiary of that act, even though it was never, ever intended for real estate.